Hey everyone, it's Broken Doll with a rope tutorial. Today we're gonna do some single column ties. I'm gonna show you 3 different versions of a single column tie. All 3 are non-collapsing and suspension safe. So if you're interested in learning that, then grab some rope and come tie with me. I haven't posted in a while, which I'm sure you know. And I do have kind of a backlog of tutorials that people have requested, but I also realized that I've never done any basic tying. I've always just done videos by request, but I do want my channel to be beginner friendly, and I think it's really important that I go over some of the more basic ties, especially single columns. Single columns are the building block of 99.99999% of ties. So it's really important if you want to do shibari or even some of the tutorials that I have up, that you know how to do a single column tie. So sorry if that disappoints anyone. I know that you guys are waiting for a couple of decorative ties, and I promise that I'll get to them, especially now that I'm making time for filming, but I'm gonna do a single column tutorial. So the first single column that I'm gonna show everyone is called a Somerville Bowline. And before I get started, I'm using 15 feet of nylon rope. This rope is called Hellfire. It's from Dyadic Rope. I actually don't think you can get this color anymore. But he has a million other colors that are gorgeous that you can get. For some reason, I only love colors that are limited edition. So sorry about that. But anyways, we're gonna start with a single column tie. It is called a Somerville Bowline. I'm gonna show you on my ankle. So in order to do the Somerville Bowline, I'm going to start with the bite of my rope. And all that means is I found the center of my rope, I folded it over, made this loop, and now we have a bite. So I'm just gonna form a single column around my ankle. So all I'm gonna do is pull the rope. That's one time. I'm gonna go around one more. So now we have 3 wraps. My bite is at the top. I worked up towards my knee. My working end, which is the end of the rope that we're working with, is at the bottom closest to my foot. So to build a single column, all we're gonna do is take the bite and we're gonna make an upside down L with it. So I literally just bent it down and placed it over all of the wraps, including my working end. So here's my working end. It's going off to my right, your left. Here's the thing about the working end. We're traveling this direction with our working end. When we finish this next step, I want the rope to be traveling in the same direction. So I'm gonna make a loop or a roundabout around my bite. And when I finish, my working end's going to continue traveling in this direction, which is my right. So I'm going to form this loop by bringing my working end up over the bite rope. I'm going to bring it across, back down. I'm going to flip the bite up, and then I'm going to bring my rope back over to my right. And now you can see I'm traveling in the same direction I started in. A couple of things you want to look for. So you want to be traveling in the same direction, like I just said. You want to form an X with your working end. So you crossed over yourself and your bite needs to be in the middle of the loop. So if you have all of those things, then we're going to do the next step, which is to take the bite under all of the wraps. So we want our bite to cross over that X that we formed, and then we're gonna grab it and bring it under all the wraps and up to the top. So now we should have our roundabout still here because we haven't pulled that tight yet. And our bite is now under all of our wraps and behind the roundabout. And all we're gonna do to finish this knot off is put our bite through that roundabout and then pull our working end tight. And that is the full Somerville Bowline. So it doesn't matter if I pull on the bite or I pull on the working end. This is a non-collapsing single column tie, and it is suspension safe. And I'm working with nylon rope, which is more slippery than some other ropes. And this is suspension safe even with nylon rope. This knot's not going anywhere. The next single column that I'm gonna show everyone is called a reverse tension single column. You might also hear it referred to as a Larkshead. And I've also heard it referred to as a closed single column. So to do that, I'm gonna take the bite of my rope. I'm going to bring it behind my ankle, and then I'm gonna make a lark's head. So to do that, I'm gonna put 2 fingers through my bite, grab my working end, and pull my working end all the way through. And this is a lark's head. So all we're gonna do to build this single column tie is reverse our tension, which means the rope is gonna come back the way it came. So you know that you've reversed tension properly when if you pull on the rope, it tightens or cinches your single column down. If you went the wrong direction, then it's gonna loosen up and you're not gonna be able to cinch it at all. It's just gonna be loose. So we're gonna reverse our tension. We do not want to cinch this down super tight. We want to be able to have at least 2 fingers in there. So we're gonna reverse the tension. We're gonna go back around our ankle, making sure that we're not pulling everything too tight. When you get back, make sure you can get a couple fingers under there. And now we're gonna find our reverse tension that we started with, and we're gonna bring our rope through that. So in order to do that, I'm gonna put my finger through, and as you can see, my finger's coming out on the bottom, closest to my leg. So I'm gonna bring the rope from the point of my finger to my hand. I'm just gonna grab it, pull it through. So now you can see, here's where I initially reversed tension. Here's my rope through that reverse tension. And we're gonna reverse tension again. Sorry, I just hit the dog with the rope accidentally. It was non-consensual. I did not mean to do that. I'm sorry, puppy. Yeah, you're a good boy, aren't you? Okay, so we're gonna reverse tension again, but I'm not going to brow stuff. Hi. We're not gonna go around the leg again though. Instead, we're gonna lock off our single column tie. To lock off, we're gonna form a half hitch. So we reverse tension, but instead of going around my leg, I'm gonna form a U with my rope. So I'm gonna keep my rope bent. Excuse me, I'm filming right now. Excuse me. I'm gonna bring the rope over all of my wraps, and I'm going to reach my finger under all of the wraps to grab it. So I want you to notice a couple of things. My finger is over the top of my U, but under all of my wraps. And now I'm going to grab maybe my working end. If you had kept 2 fingers, this would be easier, but I did not do that. This is a do as I say, not as I do type of situation. There we go. Okay, so I did get my working end up through. So now I want you to see that I'm under all my wraps, but I'm still over this U that we created. And I'm gonna pull my rope through. So now we're inside of that U, and we're just gonna tighten it down. And as I tighten it down, I'm gonna pull it as close to where I originally reversed tension as possible. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want it to be tight and I don't want it to have any opportunity for my single column to pull tighter. So once I have that tightened down, that's it. That's the whole single column. And this is also a non-collapsing single column and suspension safe. You can suspend from this. One more single column. You guys think you got it in you? This is the most fun single column. I actually just learned this third single column at a convention, and I don't know what it's called. They didn't have a name for it. I think it's a non-brat single column because if you get really, really good at it, you can tie up unsuspecting sadists. Consensually, of course. It has to be consensual. But we're gonna do this. So this one starts a little bit differently. Here's the bite of my rope. Here's my working end. I'm going to fold my bite over my working end, but not all the way. We're not creating a super bite, so we're not folding the rope that's already folded in half and half. Instead, we're just making a little bit of a distance, and you want enough distance that you can go around your column and have just a little bit extra. And by column, I mean whatever you're tying, whether that be the post of a bed, an ankle, a wrist. I'm tying an ankle. So here's my length, here's my bite, here's my working end, and I'm going to refer to this side as my super bite. So I'm going to just wrap that. I have a little bit too much, we don't need that much. I'm going to wrap it around my ankle, and I'm going to bring my bite through the super bite, and then I'm also going to bring my working end through, but I'm not going to bring it all the way through. I'm just going to pull it a little bit through so it's the same level as my bite. So I've now created another loop with my working end. So this is the loop created by my working end. This is my bite. I'm going to put them together, and now I have 3 separate lines here. And then we're just going to daisy chain. And if you've never daisy chained before, that's okay. All we're going to do is put our fingers through the loop, grab our working end, make another loop. And then we're going to do that one more time, but this time we're going to pull our working end all the way through. So I put my fingers in, grab my working end, I'm going to pull it all the way through, and then I'm going to pull this loop tight on my working end. And that's it. This is a locked off, non-collapsing, single column tie, suspension safe. I actually did a suspension seam with this type of single column tie around my thighs. I mean, I had other rope on me, but that was primarily what was suspending me. So that's it. Those are all the single columns I have for you today. As always, if you have any questions, I'm happy to do my absolute best to answer them. I hope you learned something new and exciting. I hope there are brats out there that can use this for absolute consensual evil. And I hope that you have fun tying. See you next time.